expectations right now, Boss?
Oh, disappointed. You know, we got off to a bad start again, and you know, in Origin, you give away those type of starts, it's always hard to come back from. But again, very proud of the way the boys fought, but just wasn't our night.
Was it deja vu from the Perth game? The way they started and obviously Queensland got on top?
Yeah. Oh, no, I think it was different. You know, we played some good footy, but they just won some moments. Like, you know, we felt like at times we were sort of defending 3 tackles really well, and the 4th tackle they'd sort of make half a break and get a bit of line speed and play the ball and then kick to get them out of trouble. It's just little things like that happened in that first half that we felt like it was an arm wrestle, but all of a sudden they just won a moment, which gave them a bit of momentum to create some points. I think, you know, the first try was, I think it was a kick in goal, 7 tackle penalty. Yeah, try, but yeah, you know, you just can't give up those points.
Joe, did it feel like it was obviously really hard for you guys to get momentum in that game?
Yeah, definitely in that first half we struggled. They did a really good job, I thought, on the edges, the way they were defending it and jamming and sort of, which was sort of known they were going to, but yeah, we just couldn't get out of our own way. We'd sort of make push passes. We just probably weren't patient enough at times. And then just any time they sort of had a 50-50 moment, trying to make half a line break to be Hammersell or Tommy did and pushing up through the middle, and sort of they'd be capitalising on little moments like that. So again, like, it's probably the sort of repeat of the Perth. You're sort of happy with how we responded at half time, but yeah, you just can't be. Well, I think it was 20-0 at half time, wasn't it? So you can't be doing that in Origin, particularly in the decider. So it's one of those opportunities that, yeah. That's probably the most disappointing part of the whole campaign. Obviously, you go up in Queensland, you win, and there's an opportunity there in Perth, and then at home in front of your home fans, you miss the jump, you miss the first half in both those. So, yeah, very disappointed.
Yeah, how telling is that scoreboard pressure?
Yeah, maybe at the back end of that sort of first half, and it was probably parts in the second half, but we're getting looks in the second half. They were doing a good job of scrambling, I felt like, but I'm sort of making sort of little half line breaks when we wanted to, but yeah, probably in the first half that was probably a little bit. We just weren't patient enough. And we sort of touched on how we wanted to be patient with the ball, but probably just too excited. We'd probably see something, think it's on. And no, credit to them. I thought they defended well.
Laws said he was disappointed. Can I ask what your overarching emotion is? It sounds like you're quite frustrated, given what happened in game 1 and then just missing the jump in games 2.
No, not frustrated. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed because I see how hard the boys train. I see how hard the staff work to give us everything that we need to go out there and perform. And I just know what this footy team is capable of. And I just felt like we probably didn't show it enough throughout the series, which is, yeah, that's the disappointing part, I think. But that's when you got to obviously credit to Queensland. They got the first game at home, and they've rallied behind each other, and obviously won the sort of the neutral ground, and then at their away venues. So yeah, disappointment I think is probably the main one. I'll be with Loz on that.
Do you feel like you played anywhere near as well in games at any stages in games 2 and 3 as you did in game 1? Like, was game 1 that much better than what you did in 2 and 3, or how do you explain the differences there?
Yeah, no, I think in game 1 we were good without being at our best, you know. But again, you know, it was funny tonight because, you know, you're doing such a good job, and then you just lost a moment, and a moment turned into, you know, quick play the ball, which turned into a kick, which put us, you know, on the back of our own half, you know, bringing the ball off our try line. Whereas if you won the next tackle, they're kicking deep inside their 40. So it's sort of weird like that, but. Yeah, you know, big starts, first halves. Yeah, they're always hard to run down, even though you're still confident you can do it.
I felt like the goal line attack was a bit clunky at times. Is there anything you can put that down to?
Sorry?
I felt like the goal line attack was clunky at times.
Yeah, I think, you know, just been maybe, you know, I don't know, Yowie would be the best one to ask. He's out there.
Yeah, I'd probably touch on there's a bit of that patience. I reckon we could have showed more of that. Yeah, that's probably one.
They scrambled really well.
They did. There was times there where, you sort of felt you'd made half line break and there'd be 5 or 6 covering across, so which you expect at this level. So, Yeah, probably going to be a little bit more patient, but then obviously they'll score on tries, and that probably applies a bit of pressure as well.
Laurie, do you think you should be the coach of the Blues next year?
Most definitely. Yeah, where are you from? Oh, thank you.
What gives you the confidence that you're going now, Laurie?
Oh, I think what we've been building. I think while I was disappointed with the result, I think I think the players have had a really good campaign. We just sort of didn't nail the moments, so we're going to make sure that we're better at that.
Do you think that's a core group of players that can do it?
Yeah. I don't see any reason why that group can't. There is plenty of success. It's hard to win Origin series back to back. We know that. There's only been, I think we've only won 5 back-to-back series in 45 years, so it's difficult. So Queensland losing last year was always going to bounce back. So no, it's no issues there, mate.
Well, we always talk in Origin about, especially in the aftermath, about the moments. You talked about just before about playing those big moments when they're there.
Yeah.
When you don't know them in Queensland, is it getting beaten to the punch? Like, what is it?
Yeah, well, a big moment's a little moment. That's the thing. Like, a big moment's not just a try, as I said before. A big moment is when you've won the first 3 tackles, and then tackle 4, they sort of make a dent, fast play the ball, and then they're kicking under no pressure. So that's a big moment. In the context of momentum, because if you make another good tackle off the back of those 3, then they're kicking deep rather than kicking on the front foot with no pressure getting applied to them. So when I'm talking big moments, probably those ones. They did those things a lot better than what we did at critical moments.
Laurie, did you think that getting Connor Watson and Hudson Young onto the field earlier was the plan, or was the second half?
Yeah, it was sort of one of those things. We've used Hudson differently both games, I think. So we used him after half-time in game 1, before half-time in game 2. Connor, we just felt like we started to get a bit of ruck speed there in the second half, so we wanted to play with a bit of speed, so that's the reason why we put him out there. And we'd only used, I think, 2 interchanges or something like that.
Before game 2, you likened Tom Dearden to Alfie Langer.
Yeah.
Do you think he lived up to that, and just what did he do so well in the final 2 games of the series to lead Queensland to victory?
Oh, I think he's just a competitor, isn't he? He's always at you. You got to tackle him. And yeah, he's a wonderful player. He's a wonderful player. So came in, the 7 and played some really good football. He's a danger when he's got the ball in his hands. So he did a terrific job.
Was Brian Toto at all limited tonight, like in terms of sideways movement or anything like with his knee, or you thought he was all?
No, he was all good. Yeah.
Was there I know you said to us yesterday that he was definitely 100% good to go. Like, at what point were you actually confident that he'd be able to play in this match?
After Monday training, we did a pose session, so yeah, he was good to go.
Just on those injuries, like it felt like in every game lead up, you sort of had players sitting out. Do you think that impacted at all to some of the performances? Was it did it have any sort of toll on you?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think Payne was strong. He didn't do much training, but I think both those players, like Payne didn't train in game 1 and got man of the match, and then Brian got player in game 2 and didn't do much training. So I think when you've got a bank of work like that where you trust players, you back them. Might be different if they're young guys, but no, those two we never sort of. Once we got given the all clear with them, we trusted them and we knew they'd do the job.
Going back to the start of the game, why do you think you guys have struggled to settle both in game 2 and game 3?
Yeah, it's a good question. Something that we need to find out. So we'll sort of look into that, what we think we need to be better at. Obviously, you don't get another opportunity this year. So we'll see what we're better at, do it better next year.
Liam Martin got to knock to the hand in the first half. how's his hand?
Yeah, I think it's sore. I don't know the update, so I don't know whether it's. I don't know. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thanks, Lars.
talking about getting your game on. I couldn't have done it much better than that tonight. You must be super proud of the performance and the effort they put in.
Yeah, I didn't. Those days are gone. But yeah, they did. And yeah, well, look, you know, pre-game, you talk pretty general. But when we do talk about getting our game on and finding our best footy, well, it's pretty similar to what that first half looked like, and the effort, the togetherness, and that's where it all starts. Yeah, the points come, they go. So yeah, no, it was an inspiring performance. I'm so proud of this group. I've been proud of this group a number of times over the last 4 years, and I don't know if I've been any more proud than tonight. So, you know, there's been a lot of hurdles to overcome. You know, so yeah, it's an incredible feeling, and I'm sure 5.5 million people are feeling the same thing.
You've won a few series, Billy, as a player and also as a coach. But where does that one rank, given you lost game one, you had to go to Perth, get to come here, you obviously, you know, a number of other things that you had to overcome?
I don't like ranking things, but I've never felt like this. Like I know we're going to talk about it, but like the bloke to my left, that's as courageous and brave as I've ever seen. Like that I lost my dad in January. I know what it's like. I know how it feels. Like, our dads are our heroes, and I don't know how he did it, but you know, within 10 minutes of sitting with him in his room on Sunday morning, he looked at me and he said, "Bill, I'm playing." And I know he wanted to. I know his dad would have wanted him to. And boy, that's one proud dad sitting up there watching his boy tonight.
Can you tell us about the decision? Why did you make it so quickly? And tell us how it all came about. How were you feeling at the time? What's it been like for yourself?
Yeah, I rang Bill straight away. As a larrikin as I am, I rang him, and usually when me and Bill talk, like, we're obviously serious on the field and stuff, but I feel like there's probably no better balanced person than Bill. When it's time to switch on, you switch on, and you switch off. And we didn't really have a whole heap done in the morning, and when I found out, I tried to call him, and he thought I was not having him on, but he started laughing on the phone. Like, before I actually told him what happened, like, it was more of like a shock to me. And when I told him, he dropped everything and come to my room, like Bill spoke about. Like, he lost his dad in January, and I know his old man. He was a tough man. He was a very humble man and very hardworking, and a bit like my dad. Like, he was had a big heart. Would be friends with anyone. Had a lot of trust with a lot of people, and sometimes that got him in trouble, and sometimes that got me in trouble too. But this, I knew straight away when I heard my dad would be stupid enough to tell me. I know for a fact that footy's not more important. Family's obviously more important, but there was more at stake. Like, when you look at it, it's a cider. I was in camp the whole week. I knew the preparation. It would have been a tough job to Bill and the coaching staff to obviously put someone in and obviously understand the way we wanted to play. And it was an easy decision for me. Queensland's everything to me. I was obviously born there, and I love the Marrons, and to be able to captain this team and try and send out Puppy as a winner in his last game in a foreign territory is something that I'll hold dearly to my heart for the rest of my life.
How does it feel, money, to what you've achieved and what the team's achieved?
I think the whole team and the whole coaching staff should feel so much belief, and I've got so much trust in this team, so much love for this team. You look at guys like Ruben Cotter, Kurt Capewell. So many people were bagging him in the media about our back rowers. Like, they're not back rowers. They miss tackles. They're not there, you know. And a couple of times, Ruben jumped on the ball tonight as a true Queenslander. Got to put his body on the line, save a couple of tries. Same with Kurt. Like, people just somehow just go an extra leg with wearing the jersey, and it's just our coaching staff to distill that belief in us. And it was an easy decision for me, like I spoke about. I would never have turned this decision down, and like everyone talks about, you never know when your last times you're going to be wearing the jersey, and I wasn't going to let it happen now.
What about the response or the reaction of the other players, like out there on the field? I think at the end the cameras were on you guys, and there were like a number of people, including Billy, I think, in tears, as well as yourself, Cam. Like that, obviously, what you mean to them?
Oh yeah, look, it's hard. Like obviously, I had a moment there with Bill. I had a moment with him on Sunday. You know, he knows what I'm going through. Regardless of being a coach, he gave me the opportunity to go home first, like families first, and I'm forever grateful for that. I was probably more leaning towards not doing it because I didn't want to let Bill and all Queensland down, but Bill told me I needed to go home, and I'm so grateful that he made me go home. And just the team that rallied behind me. Look, it's not ideal preparation-wise, but just the way that the team got up for me, and I'll be sitting there when I'm 80 years of age remembering 2025. It sounds silly, but talk about the Neville Nobodies of 1995. No one in the journo world, you guys sitting here, gave us a chance, and it'll be interesting to see what you're going to say tomorrow. So really excited for it.
Yeah, lead up to this kickoff, how was it for you personally? Did you find it was difficult to get yourself ready? When you ran out, it looked like you looked up at the sky. Was that right?
Oh yeah, I just asked him to use as much energy as he can. He hasn't got a whole heap of energy. He was a big boy, so needed 10% of him. So it was good. I love him, and I'll obviously grieve and deal with what I have to deal with tomorrow, and obviously onwards whatever happens. But I want to soak it up tonight with my family, with the team, and it was an easy decision. Like I went out there, and it was one of those things. Like I had to go out there and earn it. We all had to earn it, you know, and it wasn't written for us, and we had to go out there and work hard, and we did that for the first 40 minutes, you know, for that first 40. We obviously held onto the ball and didn't really want to do a whole heap to create errors and give them a chance to come back. But yeah, I just have so much love for this team and our state, and I'm sure the other team do as well. But yeah, it's hard to put into words. Go back to the Storm, and no disrespect to the Storm, but it's just a different feeling when you come into Origin, and Bill and obviously the coaching staff just have that belief and still that history into us, and it just makes you grow another leg.
The players, you all have your own motivations, but did you talk about money, and did you use that as inspiration? Was it part of wanting to do it for him as well tonight? Or?
Yeah, of course. Obviously money was going through what he was going through, and I think as a playing group, it's all about family first, and we knew Manny was going to turn up and be ready for this game, and we just had to make sure we were well prepared for his return. So, so happy that we, got the win for our skipper, and it just shows the special bond that we have, just going together, doing everything together, and that was the whole theme of this week, and going forward. So, very special win to be a part of, but yeah.
What was it like that you were at that, Papa? Like, did you ever think you'd be drinking a 4X after winning an Origin series again when you sort of retired from rep footy a couple of years ago?
Nah, I was like I told many of you, so I was happily retired. Watching game 1, game 2, I'm always gonna bleed Maroon. I was always gonna back the boys no matter what, even if I was playing or not. So. Obviously missed the first couple of calls from Bill due to my son being in hospital and the wife as well, a few complications with the birth. But I said I wasn't going to come back, and when I saw Bill's number pop up, I said yes. I knew the value and what I could bring to this footy team, that calmness of being just that calm head amongst the group. I thought I can bring that, and I thought we done well tonight, and obviously showed with the shield and the sheds.
I've seen a lot of Queensland teams written off, and New South Wales has got a better team on paper. I've also seen Queensland win a lot of times in those situations when they're not supposed to. Can you sort of talk to the desire that you guys have when your backs are against the wall to produce something special?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, firstly, who's saying you're not supposed to? That's probably the question you need to ask. You know, at the end of the day, it's your actions out on the field that do the talking, not what you write during the week and what you say on shows. And like I'm a part of that. I get the attention of the game. We create excitement and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean anything. It's the actions out on the field. And you know, when a group of players believe in each other and believe in what they want to go out and achieve together, that's pretty powerful. So, yeah, that's probably how I'd answer that one.
Well, you talk about Tom Dearden, you made the decision to bring him in for game 2. Obviously, that was a huge call, but it's more than vindicated your decision.
Yeah.
A couple of tries, try-saving tackles, player of the series. I think he was man of the match, I think, in the City Championships final as well. So big game player, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think anyone's surprised how Tom Dearden's played in the number 7 jersey. You know, the one thing I will say is Daly Cherry Evans has been a wonderful halfback and a wonderful captain for this team over a long period of time. So that's the first thing I want to acknowledge. But I just felt it was Tom Dearden's time. Like, it's Tom Dearden's time now to step up and rise, you know, to that position, and he's done that. He's sitting in there with a couple of medallions around his neck. You don't get that because people predict things about you. You get that because you earn them through your actions out on the field, and he's probably one of the best competitors I've ever seen play the game. He will give everything for the team. He stepped in last minute for this guy, you know, a few years back, and did a wonderful job, you know, in the 6 jersey. So, like, he was ready. He's been a part of this squad for, you know, many years now, and it was his time.
Bill, can I mention obviously the 1995 side, but if people talk about that, they talk about the 2020 team to win it.
Yep.
I know you say you don't want to rank them, but does this team now belong in that category as far as, you know, the spirit of Queensland things when you consider what happened game 1, 2 games in a row after 2 rookie centres, Josh come down for retirement, change of halfback, all that stuff? Yep. Do they belong in that category now?
Yeah, there's been a fair bit going on, and it is a true Queensland team. It's been a true Queensland performance. That's no disrespect to anyone else, but you know, you look over the history of this footy team, 95 in particular. No Super League players. You know, I think Ben Ikin was 17 players out of reserve grade. You know, to win that first game 2-0, that held a whole heap of resilience. Spent a lot of time on their try line, and that was something we dove into. Just the way that they went about it, not necessarily the result, but the way that they went about it, and we appreciated that, and I saw that out there tonight. You know, that resilience on the try line. You know, that was pretty special. So, yeah, they're right up there.
Josh, I think your son on Channel 9, he said he was worried that your new baby might be without you, or could you explain for us, having spoken to him after, what do you mean by that?
I don't know. I think after my son was born, I'd come into camp, so I think it's just more just getting back home and spending time with the other kids. So
we talk about the courage and bravery about what Mun's been through, and that's at a really high level. The big fella here, I was terrified when he picked the phone up that he's going to be empty of that fire. I was terrified that he was going to say, "Sorry, Bill, you know, my days are done." But you know, within a couple of words, I felt, you know, he still had that fire in him, and not me, Queensland. I'm sure they're so appreciative of what Papa's done. His performance out there tonight, that first 15 minutes, just laid that platform for the rewards to be reaped off the back of it, and then went out in the second half. And like, that's at 33 years old, the big fella's done his duty for Queensland, and to come back one last time and perform like that, is incredible. That story will be told as a legacy for many years to come. And the first 3 days of camp, Big Papa didn't come in. Obviously, his wife Seppa, had a baby boy the week before, and there were a few complications, and the big fella slept in a hospital chair for a couple of nights, and his priority was being a dad and making sure that his family were okay. And he come in on the Wednesday, and he just had that real calmness influence over the team. And little Tino, big Tino, was like a little puppy dog following him around all week. But it was just good to see, and he was very confident in his own ability, but he instilled confidence in everyone else. And like I said, I'm so appreciative of what he's done for this footy team, those guys in there, and 5.5 million Queenslanders, because they're going to be super proud of him and super happy.
Billy, how vital was that presence when obviously Money had to step away for a few days?
Yep.
Like, how much did that help having someone like Papa there?
Yeah, I just felt it straight away when he came into camp. He was, he didn't say a whole heap, but he doesn't need to, Big Papa. He's just got that aura about him, and everyone felt safe. The one guy that I did feel that really stepped up into that leadership role when Mum was gone was Harry Grant. I felt he did a wonderful job in supporting Mun as the captain. Even before he went away, he's done a great job in that role, and there's a few question marks around him, throughout the series as well. And he's a wonderful player, a wonderful person, and a wonderful leader.
Papa, you young fella Noah, this is a moment that you'll never forget. What does that mean?
Yeah, it means a lot. Obviously, old enough to understand, who Dad's playing for, what Dad's doing these days. So, just super grateful. Moments, when the 80 minutes is all done and said. I thought about that phone call that Billy gave me, and straight away, had tears in my eyes, and there was doubts in my mind whether I still had it, whether it was the right move to come back, especially with the 4-pack that the Queenslanders have. So I'm so glad I picked that phone up and said yes, because it's all paid off now. So super grateful. And always a privilege and honour to represent the state, this jersey, and especially when I'm running out next to the skipper and all the brothers, it's always an honour.
You won't get a better send-off than that, but what if Billy calls late May next year?
He'll screen my call, I guarantee it.
He reckons he's the next healthy. He's going to go to Super League and then get a phone call and come back.
Thanks, guys.